Operations scheduling. Managers must develop a timetable for acquiring the resources that are necessary to produce the good or service. The master production schedule. A master production schedule shows what will be produced, when, using what resources over coming months. Short-term detailed schedules specify the same things on weekly and daily basis. In low-contact service operations, work is scheduled based on either the desired completion date or on the time of order arrival. In high-contact systems, precise scheduling of services may not be possible. Detailed schedules. Additional information comes from detailed schedules which show daily work assignments with start and stop times for assigned jobs at each workstation. Staff scheduling and computer-based schedules. Staff schedules specify assigned working times and upcoming days, perhaps for as many as 30 days or more, for each employee on each work shift. Staff schedules consider employees' needs and the company's efficiency and costs, including the ebbs and flows of demand for production. Project scheduling. Special projects, such as plant renovations or relocations, often require close coordination and precise timing. In these cases, special tools, such as Gantt and PERT charts, facilitate scheduling. Gantt charts. A Gantt chart diagrams steps to be performed and specifies the time required to complete each step. PERT charts, the Program Evaluation and Review Technique, PERT, is useful for customized projects in which numerous activities must be coordinated. Operations control. This requires the monitoring of production activities, and taking corrective action when actual performance doesn't correspond with planned performance. Materials management. Involves planning, organizing, and controlling the flow of materials. Materials management for physical products. The 5 major areas in materials management for physical goods are transportation, getting resources to the company and finished goods to the buyers, warehousing, storage of incoming materials and finished goods, inventory control, the receiving, storing, handling, and counting of all raw materials, partly finished goods, and finished goods, supplier selection, locating and choosing suppliers of services and materials to purchase from, and purchasing, the acquisition of all the materials and services that a company needs to produce its products. Materials management for services. Material management is also important for service providers. The most important inventory for many high-contact services is not physical goods, but information about service product offerings, clients, their interests, needs, activities, and even their plans for interactions with other clients. Production process control. Tools for production process control include the following. 1. Worker training. Customer service is closely linked to the employees who provide the service. This does not happen by chance. 2. Material requirements planning. A computerized bill of materials is used to estimate production needs so that materials are put into production only as needed. 3. Quality control. This involves the management of the production process so as to manufacture goods or services that meet specific quality standards. Just-in-time production systems, JIT. It is when parts are delivered when they are needed. Resources continually flow from raw materials to the finished product. Thus, saving on warehouse costs and creating smooth movement of product components. Materials requirements planning, MRP. Computerized bill of materials estimates production needs. Also, resources are acquired and put into production only as needed. Manufacturing resource planning, MRP2. It is an advanced version of MRP. It ties all parts of the organization into production activities. The productivity-quality connection. By producing more of the right things with fewer resources, everyone, the economy, businesses, and workers, benefits. Productivity is a measure of economic performance that compares how much is produced relative to the resources used to produce it. Quality means the product's fitness for use through offering features that customers want. Measuring productivity. Most countries consider productivity to be labor productivity. One reason is that accurate labor records are available. Labor productivity is gross domestic product divided by total number of workers. Domestic productivity. Productivity affects standard of living, employees, wages, investors, profits, and customers' prices. Factors affecting productivity include technologies, human skills, economic policies, natural resources and traditions. Manufacturing versus service productivity. Manufacturing productivity is higher than service productivity. Although it was once believed that there was very limited potential for productivity improvements in the service sector, technological innovations are occurring which have automated many services and resulted in significant increases in service productivity. Industry productivity. Specific industries vary widely in their productivity. Examples are technological improvements that have increased the productivity of the computer, steel manufacturing and forestry industries in Canada. Unions, suppliers, investors and communities all have their own reasons, which are described, for concern over productivity levels in specific industries. Company productivity. High productivity reduces the costs of production and can lead to lower prices, greater profit, higher wages, and greater competitiveness, making the level of productivity important to investors, workers and managers. Total quality management. Following the Second World War, Edward Deming, an American, failed to convince American businesses that they needed to improve quality as much as quantity, but he did convince the Japanese. The success of the Japanese created such stiff competition that the American industry had to respond. To facilitate quality improvements, tools have been developed to help identify problems. Total quality management, TQM, sometimes known as quality assurance, is a concept that emphasizes that no defects are tolerable and makes all employees responsible for maintaining quality. Leadership must support and promote the concept of TQM for it to succeed. The customer is the starting point by focusing on providing the customer with utility, but the process of improving quality extends into all facets of the business. Planning for quality. Quality level and quality reliability must be part of the planning process before products are designed or redesigned. Performance quality is the overall degree of quality, how well the features of a product meet consumers' needs, and how well the product performs. Quality reliability is the consistency of quality from unit to unit of a product. Quality ownership is the concept that quality belongs to each employee, who creates or destroys it in producing a good or service. Firms have moved from having a separate quality control department to inspect completed products to the expectation that every employee is responsible for the quality of the units produced, and that every product should be produced correctly rather than catching defective units just before they are sold. The role of a quality control department has evolved to a support function, assisting departments when problems arise and providing information on new processes and other advancements. Tools for quality assurance. The following tools are widely used. 1. Competitive product analysis. Ideas for improving both the product and the production process may come from competitive product analysis. For example, Toshiba will take apart Xerox photocopier and test each component to see how it compares with Toshiba's competing product. 2. Value-added analysis, the evaluation of all work activities, material flows, and paperwork to determine the value they add for customers. Wasteful or unnecessary activities can then be eliminated. 3. Statistical process control, techniques that allow managers to analyze variations in production data to detect when adjustments are needed. Process variation examines how changes in inputs, for example, employees, materials, affect output quality. Process variation. A certain amount of process variation is tolerable. A process capability study using upper and lower specification limits can yield information about process variation. Control charts help managers monitor the production process by identifying when a process is beginning to depart from normal operating conditions. Quality, cost studies for quality improvement. A method of improving product quality by assessing the firm's current quality costs and identifying areas with the biggest cost-saving potential. Internal failures are units that do not meet quality standards, but which are identified before the product leaves the plant. Costs of internal failures include the costs to identify, fix or dispose of the defective units. External failures are units that do not meet quality standards that are identified by the customer. Costs of external failure include the costs to replace or repair the defective items. Quality improvement teams, groups of employees who work in teams to improve their work methods and the products they produce. Benchmarking. This involves comparison of a company's current performance against its own past performance, internal benchmarking, or comparing the quality or efficiency of a firm's outputs with the quality or efficiency of units produced by the industry leaders, external benchmarking. The ISO series, ISO 9000 is a certification program attesting to the fact that a factory, a laboratory, or an office has met the rigorous quality management requirements set by the International Organization for Standardization. The ISO 14000 program certifies improvements in environmental performance by requiring a firm to develop an environmental management system, which is a plan documenting how the company has acted to improve its performance in using resources, such as raw materials, and in managing pollution. Business process reengineering. This involves redesigning business processes in order to achieve dramatic improvements in performance, productivity, and quality. Adding value through supply chains. The supply chain is the flow of information, materials, and services that starts with raw materials suppliers and continues through other stages in the operations process until the product reaches the end customer. Although each company looks out for its own interests, when a supply chain strategy is followed, each also focuses on the entire chain of relationships, to gain a competitive advantage through working as a coordinated team. Supply chain management is the principle of looking at the supply chain as a whole in order to improve the overall flow through the system of companies working together. The objectives are to reduce unwanted inventories, avoid delays, cut supply times and get product to the customer more quickly. Supply chain disruptions. Supply chains can be disrupted by a variety of factors, including bad weather, natural disasters, and problems with the quality of supplies.